Hello, good evening, everyone. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Good evening.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Good evening, everyone.
Shanti.
Om Shanti. Good evening.
Evening. Shanti. So, warm welcome to. We thought of starting this course. We call it Realization Course in meditation. We've all had some introductions, and we've all been practicing meditation in our own capacity. And so generally we call it the foundation course. Then after foundation course, there is a revision course, and then there is a realization course. So in realization course, we realize. So the Raja Yoga meditation. Has everyone here been practicing a little bit, or maybe have known about Raja Yoga, especially those who are new? Would you like to just say a few words? Maybe Sean or Maria or Mila or Lakshmi, would you like to just say a few words before we begin?
It's new to me. First time I'm trying it.
Hi, Sean.
I'll just say a few words. Good evening. I'm happy to be here. Good to see you, Saurabh. I'm fairly new. We've done a few courses. I haven't been so good with keeping up with my meditation these past few days. I've truly missed it. But when I'm consistent with it, I've seen how much it's helped me, how much I'm more present day to day. So I'm excited to just be here.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for joining, Maria. So when we look at meditation, it's a very commonly used word, meditation. And it comes from the Latin root, medere, which means to heal, which means to cure. So just as medication heals the wounds of the body, meditation heals the mind. Meditation is to heal the mind, so that I begin to experience a state of being which is free from any worry, free from any anxiety, which is completely a mind that knows how to live in the moment. Through meditation, we are able to experience that mind. And meditation is a journey. And this journey has 3 steps. The first is the journey inward. The second is the journey upward. And the third is the journey outward. Inward, upward, and outward. And so in these 3 sessions, we will cover these 3. So today we thought of looking at the journey inward. So whenever we talk about journey, it's like we are at a point A and we want to go to point B. And so the journey that we take to reach from point A to point B. And so here in meditation, it's like exploration of my own inner world and making my mind my friend. And so in that, the first journey that I have to really take up is this journey from the consciousness that is a normal routine consciousness, or maybe a consciousness that that often attracts waste thoughts to a consciousness that is rooted in silence, a consciousness that tastes the sweetness of silence, and a consciousness that is able to experience the truth. And so today we'll also talk about how, when we talk about spirituality, the word spirituality, it means spiritual reality. And so as if we are living in, generally day to day, we live in a physical reality. And in physical reality, it's a gross reality. We look at people, look at things, we have our own possessions, we have relationships, we have tasks to do, things to plan, right? And this is all a physical reality. But then there is a spiritual reality. So when we call ourselves as human beings, one is the human reality, which is the physical or the gross. And the other is the being reality, which is the non-physical, the metaphysical, or the subtle. So when we talk about taking this journey inward, it's about taking the journey from the physical reality or the gross reality to the spiritual reality. And so we will make it a very simple experience and very simple concepts and simple practices that we can integrate in our lives. So that's the idea of these 3 sessions, is to just look at the central themes of these 3 aspects: the journey inward, upward, and outward. So once there was a person who was looking for something outside on the road, under the street light, and one of his friends passes by and asks him, "What are you looking for?" He said, "I lost my ring." The friend says, "Let me help you find that ring." They both search for it. It's 15, 20 minutes, half an hour. They're not able to find. And so the friend tells him, "Do you remember, where did you see the ring last time?" And so this person says, "I saw it inside the room." So this friend says, "Okay, if you saw it inside the room, why are you looking for it outside?" And so he said, "I'm looking for it outside because there is light outside. The inside the room is dark. But there is no possibility of him finding the ring outside because he lost it inside." And so in the same way, what we have lost or what we have forgotten, this realization that we all are beings of peace, love, happiness. Our real nature is that we are like princes, just like prince is a child of a king, and a prince has inheritance of unlimited wealth and treasures. In the same way, we know that we all of the human beings, we are all eternal princes because we all belong to the divine. But what has happened is we have lost touch, or we have forgotten that inheritance. And so that is the reason that we are looking for peace, love, and happiness outside, in the world outside. It could be in a relationship, it could be in a in a job, it could be just finding some other way to, or a vacation or something, but really it is something which is inside. We have lost it inside as eternal princes. And so in this journey, we experience, we realize that just by remembering what we have forgotten, this whole essence of coming back, journey within, means realizing, allows me to, it's as if a veil is there on the consciousness. It allows me to remove that, open it up. And so I can experience being myself. I can experience being myself. So let us look into a few thoughts here. And then at the end, we will have some time for reflection together. So the journey inward, upward, and outward. And we begin with the journey inwards, just like looking within to discover the real self. Looking within to discover the real self. So the key word here is to discover, to discover. So when we are on the journey of discovery, it's like every step I am learning something new. And so this is about discovering my real self. Someone was asked, who is the most important person in your life? And then they said, my parents, my family, right? Every relationship that is close to me is important. But then they were asked, no, if you think deeper, even more important is someone with whom we spend 24/7 and 365 days in a year. And that someone is myself. Myself. I am with myself all the time. I'm with myself, even in my sleep, I'm with myself. And so how many times do I use the word I? Throughout the day, almost every sentence I use the word I. But to experience the real I. Just like, we all have ID cards. And it is important to have an ID card in order to function in the world. In the same way, we need the true ID, the real ID, which is the spiritual ID. And this journey is about rediscovering my truth, my real ID, discovering the real self. And so for that, I have to look within. Look within. So I look with the eyes, right? So just as I look with the physical eyes into the world outside, I look with the spiritual eyes into the world inside to discover. To discover. There's a little diagram here that allows us to understand that whenever I use the word I, where is it coming from? So we have all these different identities, and we have emotions linked with these identities. So we say name, we say age, right? So my name is, when I say I, my name automatically comes in my consciousness. Even if I'm walking on a street, someone calls my name, and I'll just, or if someone is talking about my name, it could be another person with my name. But suddenly I'll look towards identifying, seeing, okay, is it something about me? There is a very deep identity with my name. Second is age. Age. How much do I, right? We celebrate birthdays and we say, I'm this years old and I'm this years old. How much do I identify myself with the age? Then the race, right? Different race. And there's a very deep identification with that. Gender and insecurity is linked with the, either the male or the female. Height, weight, nationality, religion, family, profession, status, talents, sometimes even talents. I feel I'm skilled in this particular thing or that particular thing. And I take my self-respect from this, qualifications, achievements. So whenever I say the word I, am I relating to these identities? And that is what we call as the gross or the dream reality. Why we call it as the gross? Gross is physical. Physical, which is of this physical world. And why we call it a dream reality? Dream is temporary. We call it dream as fiction or a story. And so all these traits, they actually, they are part of the story, part of the script. And the more I think about that, the more I'm engrossed, my consciousness is operating from that. Means that whenever I say the word am I operating from any of these? Then it is, we call it a dream reality. And so most of the world, when caught up in the gross or dream dimension, tries to improve the dream reality. And so most of my effort then, even spiritual effort, could be to improve the dream reality. It could be to get even more qualified or have more achievements, for example, right? Or more talents. And what happens is to indulge in a sweet dream. That's what the effort is. Everywhere, in the world, if we see whatever education or whatever is happening is to improve the dream reality. Now, the spiritual message here is to discover the waking reality. So when I'm asleep, when I'm fast asleep, I'm in a dream. And in that experience, I'm completely lost in the dream. And whatever I'm seeing in the dream feels real to me. And I feel this is who I am. But the moment I wake up, I realize, oh, it was a dream. My reality is different, right? It is now this time in the day and I have to get up, get fresh, go to work. So my waking reality and the dream reality are two different components here. And so meditation, the journey inward, is the journey to wake up. To wake up from the dream reality to the waking reality. The waking reality is the spiritual reality. That's why we see all these arrows are pointing towards. So this is the journey inward. This is the journey inward. Gross intoxication and the excitement of gross treasures pull us in the dream dimension. The choice is ours. So meditation offers us a choice. The choice is to live in truth or in delusion. So the dream reality, we say everything is temporary. And the insecurities around it are temporary. It's very interesting. There is a very deep link between my identity and the feeling of security that I have, or insecurity that I have. The moment I feel a particular identity, then that world becomes real for me. And the securities or the insecurities of that particular role becomes my reality, becomes my world. And my emotions or the state of mind, or what we call as, sometimes the mind engaging in waste thoughts or negative thoughts, it's all because of a mistaken identity or indulging in the dream identity, dream reality. And so with the journey inwards, there is a choice to live in truth, that is a spiritual reality, or in the delusion of the dream reality. And the truth or the spiritual reality, we symbolize it with light. That's why we say a point of light. Light always helps many others to wake up. Right? That's why we say night we sleep, day we wake up. And so day, what is day? Day is when there is light. So I can see everything with these physical eyes only when there is light. In the same way, I can see my world within, my world inside, and experience that truth, that subtlety, that reality, that spirituality when there is light. So we have the option to wake up and be useful to the self and others. When I have woken up from the dream, so in meditation we say, I am a point of light. I am a point of light, a being of consciousness, a being of metaphysical energy. That is my reality. It's like I am. The two most powerful words are I am. Because whatever I put after that becomes my reality. And so if I really ask myself, who am I and who am I not? It's also important to ask myself, who am I not? Because then I realize that all the insecurities are in the dimension of who am I not? And this realization that the one who is saying I is not this name, is not this physical body. It's much more than that, a being of light, a point of light. That is my spiritual reality. That is my truth. It's like an example that is very helpful to understand this is, it's like, we're all here together. Suppose tomorrow I meet with an accident and the doctors take me inside the operation room. They'll say, okay, bring Saurabh in. But if suppose I don't survive, then when the operation is done, they cannot say take Saurabh out. They will say take the body out. And so what happened that Saurabh became a body is that living force, that light, the being of light, the point of light. It left. It's no longer alive now. So my life, I am alive because of this light, the spiritual light, spiritual reality. And so all of us are alive because of this spiritual reality. And so the moment I say the word I realize, even as we're talking right now, we're all beings of light. We have a spiritual dimension. We have come from that dimension as an actor in this play of life. And as a spiritual being, we are eternal. This body has a time, a date of birth, and it will have a date of death. But as a being of light, I'm eternal. I'm immortal. I don't age. I'm permanent. I existed before this body took shape, and I will exist after this body perishes. So my existence is eternal, is real. That's who I really am. My spiritual reality. And so right now, if I just take this time and realize that just as light, the speed of light is the fastest, right? And so in the same way, this journey can be traversed very fast with the speed of light. And so it just takes a split of a second, just this realization, I wake up. I wake up from the dream reality of the body, its possessions, its age, its name, everything, the role, to the spiritual reality, a being, a point of light with no name, no age, and all these things. No. Right? Just a permanent, sentient, conscious being who is a being of peace, who is a being of love, child of the divine, eternal prince, a guest, a visitor, a traveler on this eternal journey of life. So let's just take a moment to right now experience that all of us here, as we are speaking or listening or doing anything, just take this moment to wake up. We realize that there is a spiritual dimension, a spiritual reality beyond this physical reality. And in that spiritual reality, I see myself as a tiny point of consciousness, light. My existence is beyond the body. I'm timeless. I'm eternal. I'm real. And I realize that I'm shining here at the center of my forehead, the body's forehead. And from here, I'm controlling this body. I can just get detached and see the body from a distance. And then come back with it, come back inside. I wake up, I realize that this is who I am. I don't lose myself. The moment I lose myself in the dream reality means I lose my identity in the dream reality. Then I create emotions of fear, of anxiety, of worry. All the waste or negative thoughts are rooted in the misidentification in the dream reality. So from expansion, I come into the essence, the focus. A being of light, a soul. And what am I made up of? I am made up of truth, made up of purity, peace, love, happiness, bliss, and power. This is who I'm made up of. And this is who everyone else is. So as we are waking up, let us also see every person in our family right now as a spiritual being. You're all spiritual beings in this costume. And everyone that we meet, it could be at our work, and we go out, everyone is that spiritual being. And I experience, that's the truth. And when I take time to look a little deeper, we see that unlike the mask, this subtle being needs nothing. Needs nothing. Not even air and water. When we call ourselves human beings, then the human needs, it's a body. It needs air, water, everything, food. But that's the body. That's the body. That's the human. But the consciousness, death is when the consciousness leaves the matter, when the being leaves the human, when the actor leaves the mask. And so the subtle being, the soul, call it the soul, the spirit, the spiritual being, is immortal. And therefore for him to be secure is normal. It's normal. So normally I'm secure because there is nothing that I can lose. How does it feel to be so secure? One who is secure will feel safe and be naturally loving, peaceful, generous, and kind. Nothing and no one threatens him. This is a life lived in soul consciousness. That I don't get threatened by anything because I don't have anything to lose. I feel threatened when there is something to lose. But as the spiritual being, the soul, I don't have anything to lose because I'm full. That's what my reality is. And all of us together, the entire humanity, we're all these spiritual beings. His security comes from within. So if we look at all the efforts that we make in life, are to feel secure in life. We'll have insurance. Of course, all that is important for the existence. But then this security, it comes from rooting myself in the unlimited, the eternal consciousness. He is worthy of supreme love and respect. All of us, as these spiritual beings, are worthy of supreme love and respect. We are higher beings. We are princes who are so innocent, pure, and wise that we need to be loved and respected. He plays the role with its script, not the ego and its attachments. So I play the role, but according to the script. Means I don't get offended by anything because it's a script. Because as an actor, I know my focus is to play my role and not to look at or criticize or compare or compete with anyone else. My role is what I have to play, that's all. And that's why there's no ego, no attachment. So when we talk about being viceless, nirvikari, the Hindi word is viceless. All the vice is rooted in, we say five, we say algae, right? Anger, lust, greed, attachment, and ego. These are five vices. They are activated when I am in the dream reality. And so the more and more secure I feel, in that unlimited, eternal reality. I don't have to lose anything. And so in this journey inwards, I wake up and I feel secure as my normal emotion. Just like a happy family, a loving, happy family going out on a vacation. They've gone out to enjoy the vacation for a week. And when they are in that vacation for a week, they're enjoying. And then they'll come back to their home. Just like that. We realize we are here on the stage for a few temporarily. It's a stage. But as the spiritual family, we are secure, we are safe. And because we are secure, we have love, peace, generosity, kindness towards everyone, unconditionally. That's how meditation and this realization allows me to be unconditionally kind, to be unconditionally happy, to be unconditionally loving, giving. Because that's what I feel. That's my family. We have come here as a guest, as an actor, as a visitor. So the journey inwards, I wake up and I experience that security. And then on the stage of life, we both an actor and an audience. So I'm also acting, but I'm also an audience. So when I have to act, I act. But when I'm not acting, I'm just an audience watching this play. Detaching yourself from the rules you play will help you get in touch with the part of you that is not an act. So the part of me, the being, which is not an act, right? These feelings of love, that's why there's a genuineness, right? We feel from some person, we say, oh, they're not superficial, they're really, what they're saying, they mean it, because they're genuinely like that. And this feeling of genuineness is based on getting access to part of the soul that is untainted by the act of life. And so that's what this meditation and spirituality, this journey inwards, allow us to taste that part of the self that is untainted, where there is no role to play, but just being myself, a spiritual being, not having to lose anything. I have everything within me. So right now we realize that there is a stage where I'm acting and I am a soul. I'm a spirit. This body is my costume that I'm wearing to carry out this act. And so the more I hold this contrast between the truth and the illusion, truth and illusion. So truth, as if there is a line, there's a fine line differentiating the two. And so truth is my spiritual reality, and illusion is my dream reality. And a very easy transition is this, from illusion to truth. It's very simple, easy, and it can be done with the speed of light. So in a second. So in my mind, I have clarified body, the world of body is temporary. The world that is physical, the senses, the sense organs, so anything that has to do with the sensory information. Right? Even phones these days, it's all sensory information. all the world of body, which is temporary. What is the phone, screen of the phone? It's just photons and it's just coming in and out. We know that it's the virtual world. It's not real. We know it. In the same, this three-dimensional world here, the world of the body. It's the same way, just that's 2 dimensions is 3 dimensions. Right? So the truth, the light. I realize the world of the role, illusion, and the world of the actor, the truth, permanent. The car is what I'm driving, the driver. So that line, so the more I make this line very firm and clear in my mind, I'm able to be in that soul conscious state very easily. That I don't have to make effort to go and come back. But I can easily hold this awareness within. The more this contrast is clear for me. Programmer, computer, I'm a programmer and I'm carrying on. This body is like a computer. And I'm a guest in this hotel of life. It's a journey inwards. I wake up, I feel secure, and I create the detachment. And this contrast is very clear in my mind. And a few practices that will really help us to make this experience very firm. One practice is this. Say, I see the body as plastic. Plastic. This body is a mask, plastic. Like a robot. I am a spiritual being. So in my mind, I'm clear. I'm entering this body of plastic, making it move, using it, so that I realize that this is not real. I'm a guest here. Talking to the soul. When I talk to someone, when I call someone, when I talk to someone, or I message someone, or I email someone, I make it a point to just connect with that spiritual being that is hidden behind the role, the mask. Just as I know that when I'm chatting, there is a real person with whom I'm chatting. So in the same way, the real being, the soul, with whom I talk, I connect, I communicate, I share my love and respect with that eternal being that belongs to the divine. Wake up having incarnated. It's a very beautiful practice. When I wake up from the sleep, I just feel I have incarnated into this body. I'm a spiritual being, a point of light. I've incarnated into this body. I drop the story. Every now and then, I realize that there is a contrast. I drop the story. I come back to my essence. I'm an actor, and then I re-enter the story. I stretch the time to eternity because I realize that this role has a limited duration, but I, the spiritual being, I'm eternal. I'm eternal. And so I'm easily able to see from the frame of eternity. I see the invisible, the invisible soul, the invisible love, the invisible power. I connect to the invisible, not to the obvious, but to the invisible, the eternal. So let us take a few moments to really practice and experience this. So we will experience a short meditation to just feel So we are all waking up. We realize that at the center of the forehead, inside this plastic body made up of matter, I am a spiritual being. Let me wake up. The journey inwards is just to wake up to this reality, the spiritual reality. I see myself as a beautiful point of light at the center of the forehead. I shine. I am made up of peace. And so I carry the vibrations of peace, of love, of purity, of wisdom, truth, happiness. All these invisible, true feelings, experiences are real for me as a being of light. Right now, and just focus at the center of my forehead, as if a bulb is shining here. This extraordinary light of truth. I, the spiritual being, I animate this mask. All of us are these tiny stars. Metaphysical. Just take this time to experience the truth. I, the soul, am a guest in this body, in this world. I existed before this body, and I will exist after this body as well. All of us are brothers, children of the One Divine. Spiritual beings, we have supreme love and respect for one another. In stars, we can't lose anything. We are full, completely full. We are souls, pure minds, innocent beings of light. Just hold this vision of being this divine point of light. This is the journey to experience, rediscover, to look within, experience my real self. Om Shanti. I am a peaceful soul. Shanti, thank you. Was our little experiment meditation. We would like to open up and for everyone to also maybe share a few thoughts. If you have any thoughts to share, feel free to share your thoughts. Shanti. Or you can even type in the chat box if there is any thoughts or realizations or questions.
Om Shanti.
Shanti. Krishna.
It's good to revise in between. So that was good. And I like that concept of plastic body. Yeah, thank you very much. Om Shanti.
Any other thoughts?
थैंक यू सौरभ भाई इवन दो इतने टाइम से ज्ञान में है बट व्हेन यू लिसन फिर वो याद आता है एंड इट्स वेरी गुड टू रिमेम्बर एवरीथिंग ऑल ओवर अगेन बहुत अच्छा लगा सौरभ भाई वेरी नाइस आत्मा का एक दिन जर्नी जो आज आपने कराई वेरी नाइस थैंक यू सौरभ भाई
Om Shanti, Sarabhai. Thank you. Thank you for a very good experience. Like talking, we are revising this as well as rediscovering again, and the powerful meditation at the end. So basically, the key word from today is like discovering the real self. What is our real identity? So now this line is really important. Choice is now ours, either to live in truth, which is the spiritual reality of like I am the soul, or in the delusion like we have so many tags. So we have choice now. We have now knowledge who we are. So I am is the two powerful words. So whatever we put after that, we become. So that one is very important. And finally, we know that soul is eternal, imperishable. And the contrast is how we can contrast from truth and illusion. So we are living in illusion now. Now there is a light. The soul is also light. So that shows the truth, how to go from illusion to truth. And it's just like a one thought we can change from illusion to truth when we have knowledge. And I really like the points how we can practice this soul consciousness in everyday life. We can actually apply this while we are talking to others, while we are seeing ourselves, and in our everyday drama, how we can drop the story, come back, and we know that now role is limited, but soul is eternal. And when we live in soul conscious life, that is like security. We get security and feel safe. And then when we have safe, we are full inside. We do not expect from anyone else. So we have unconditional. Everything is unconditional. Love, generosity. So naturally we are happy, and then there is no expectations. So thank you, Saurabai. Om Shanti.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Saurabai.
Shanti.
Very lovely revision. And the contrast between the dream reality and the spiritual reality was very well shown and represented. And the awakening was what we are all awakening to, the reality. And it was very, the two words, I am, and what follows, very true. What follows makes us what we are, and realizing to the reality that who we truly are and awakening to it. So, and the meditation at the end was very powerful. Thank you so much. Om Shanti.
Thank you. Thank you.
Om Shanti. I was just thinking, if you wear the red glasses, you can see the red, you will see the green glasses, you can see green. But if you wear the clear glasses, you can see the clear. If you have a clarity to see as in soul, and you can easily identify between soul and body. Same way, the example you gave on the car and the driver, okay? If you are a good driver, you will never come in the accident because you are careful. So you always watch the people driving around you and follow the rules. And in that way, you cannot have accident. Same concept. If you are aware that you are soul, you cannot be coming in the physical attachment or the emotions and all that, because you are constantly aware that you are soul. Just like, so beautiful meditation,
Nice.
beautiful thing. Om
Thank
Shanti.
you. Om Shanti. Very nice. There's a question by Aditi Ben. She says, when we do meditation in the morning in the boundaries of our home, it's easier to feel soul consciousness. But when we step outside and go to work or the places, we encounter several people who are not in soul consciousness, and we find ourselves going back to body consciousness in that environment. How do we maintain soul consciousness in any kind of environment? That's the journey, right? And for that, we also have the second lesson coming up tomorrow, is the journey upward. So to strengthen this muscle of journey inward, we need connection, very strong connection with the divine, that allows us to be very stable and unshakable in any kind of environment. And so the meditation is to connect myself to the divine. That's something that we'll cover tomorrow also, but also in any kind of environment, to make the contrast very clear. That this is illusion, it needs practice. It needs, the time in the morning a lot, so that I strengthen my muscles in the morning, so that the whole day is good. So discipline is important, to do it every day in the morning. Thank you.
Om Shanti, Saurabai. Thank you. Beautiful lesson. Rediscovering who I am, and I'll keep in mind of practicing that I'm talking to souls instead of talking to individual bodies. So I think that's the practice that I need to make firm more than then I can be soul conscious myself as well. Beautiful talk, and like the contrast list as well about truth and illusion. So thank you. Om Shanti.
Any other thoughts?
Yeah, thank you. It was very peaceful.
Thanks, Sean. Thank you. Any final thoughts? So we will continue this tomorrow and day after also. The journey upward, how to reach out and connect and experience that link with the divine, and then the journey outward. So in summary, today's is just about waking up, feeling secure, right? Having the contrast clear so that I stay in the soul consciousness. We will have the recording also or later on. Okay, great. Thank you. Any final thoughts? Maybe Maria or anyone who has joined us new, would you like to share any other thoughts?
Sure, I'll share my thoughts. Thank you so much for this. I think this session really got me thinking about how small and constricting my gross reality is, how my identity is like, or in the gross reality is tied to my academic achievements, my professional achievements. But when I remind myself of my real self, my universe just opens up and everything becomes so vast and eternal, and it does allow me to feel secure. So that was wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Maria. Great. Great. Thank you, all the angels and sparkling stars. So we will close this session and then